Cutters, Degrassi, unpopular opinions. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Cutters, Degrassi, unpopular opinions / Degrassism. So it's kind of a twofer. You know, I do the big Degrassisms, like I do like Degrassi topics, without, you know, making it like an unpopular opinion. I just talk about characters or do top 10 lists and all that. And of course, you got my Degrassi unpopular opinions. So this will be a double. And I'm just checking my Degrassi Unpopular Opinions page. And I see that I have done, let's see, looking at it, if it will load. Sorry, my computer sometimes is picky. 184 videos in the list. But because one of them is the top 30 opinions out of 150, then this will be number 184. So I'm getting close to 200, but I'm not there yet. Alright, so anyhow, so this is about Raditchs. Yes, I've done plenty of Raditchs CDUOs and all that. But the fact of the matter is that the past few years, I've done a Raditchs video based on his character and all that. And, well, it's 2023, so I might as well get that out of the way. I know it's early in 2023, but take it for what it is. So, as is. So, someone did a Reddit post a week and a bit ago, and this is a take on January 14th, 2023, which is actually the 10th anniversary of the end of Sellers in Kitchener. But anyway, January 14th for context. And Hot Adhesiveness said, does Raditchs deserve all the hate? I feel conflicted on this. So before I get to the comments, let me give you some context. Of course, all the hate seems to be season 4. So Raditchs was the English teacher in Degrassi Junior High, and then in Degrassi High became vice principal. It's a common misconception he was principal, but no, he was the vice principal. And then in Degrassi Community School, he became principal, and he was a decent guy. Like, he got on Spinner's case about the Ritalin in season 1. And then season 2, he had that fight with Emma about genetically modified foods, which they both screwed up royally. And then, you know, they tried to build his character by doing that Saturday morning detention thing, but it made him kind of an awkward person. So in season 4, Rick comes back to Degrassi after what he did to Terry in season 3, and everyone is upset that Rick's allowed back. And then in a stupidly put deleted scene, like, not that the scene wasn't stupid, it was just the fact that it was a deleted scene. Marco and Alex, who became student council president and vice president, told Raditchs this was a bad idea. And Raditchs just basically said, Terry's at a private school, I can't talk about her affairs. And basically, because Rick doesn't have a criminal record, I can't do anything about it. Which is completely false, because, I mean, Raditchs could have done something. Raditchs says, unless a student has a criminal record, he or she will stay at my school, like it or not. I mean, he's got a point. That's the thing. Everyone misses the point that Raditchs needed to say these things. And, you know, he's being honest and all that. And then, of course, Marco and Alex are not too pleased with what happened. And then Raditchs gets into it with Emma saying, stay out of this mess with Rick. I don't like your stupid causes. Are you stupid, Raditchs? Man. And you wonder how Emma gets triggered. Regardless, Emma starts the Orange Ribbon campaign behind Raditchs' back. Not just to maybe get on Raditchs' case saying this is not a stupid cause, but obviously to make friends because Manny and Liberty abandoned her, and, you know, she wanted to do something right. That was her character. Regardless, you know, Rick was back at the school. He was getting bullied mercilessly. I can't talk today. But the regardless part was that, you know, Raj wasn't involved in the Rick situation until Time Stands Still Part 1, when he actually decides to, Rick decides to talk to Raj about Jimmy being on the quiz team because with Heather's mono. And Rick tells Raditchs stuff, and Raditchs basically gives him a face value. And says that you got to do better making friends. I'm not forcing you to make friends with Jimmy. not going to force Jimmy to make friends with you. You got to do a better job. Come to me when something serious happens. Of course, I'll get more into it later, but so the fact is that, after all, Raj did appear in a cutscene, like watching the Whack Your Brain thing on his computer like a boss and smiling. So, beautiful. And then, of course, Raj had to see the paint and feathers and goes on the video system and wants answers for everyone. Wants answers. And then he appears to get his answers after Spinner, in another stupid deleted scene, clucks at Rick. Rick decides to go back with the paint and feathers on. I wonder what would happen if Rick didn't come to school with the paint and feathers. Like if just a normal shirt, what would have happened? Would anything change? But anyway, yeah. Spinner gets talked to by Ratch saying, I want you at 3:30 for a serious talk. And then he tells Rick he's sorry for what happened and wants Rick to take the day off. And Rick says, I gotta go to my locker. And Radish says, okay, but leave afterwards. And then Snake's not too happy with Radish's thing. Radish says, he can't do any more harm if he's not here. And then when Snake pressures him again, Radish says, this is not daycare and make friends not part of the curriculum. Although I wouldn't say preschool because that makes a little bit of sense. But the simple fact is that, Raj blew it. And then, with Radish and Snake blowing off in the media room, after Radish wants Snake to give emails about warning signs and all that, Snake gets sarcastic and then tells Radish, where was the hindsight? I have 700 students. How was I supposed to know one of them was going to overreact to some spilled paint? Snake got angry and all that at Radish. Rightfully so. I mean, Snake was angry about it. Snake even took accountability, saying he should have done something about it. I know a lot of people will probably say, well, why didn't Snake take accountability? He kind of did. But the fact of the matter is that, Raditch left everyone high and dry in a sense. And, now the school's on the 6 o'clock news for all the wrong reasons. Raditch opens up the school Monday for grief counselors, like normal. Or I guess it was not really normal in 2004, but now it's normal in 2023. But the simple fact is that Raditch, wanted to help the students out. And then, of course, we had that stupid subplot in Voices Carrie. There was one video I screwed up on that video, and I said, well, what was that episode? Yes, Voices Carrie. And then the backup plan. He tells Liberty and JT, no, Dracula is too gory, although they wrote it kind of comical. But Raj basically was in the frame of mind trying to protect the school's image and all that. Like, I understand. Like, I get it with Raditch. Then Liberty and JT do the Raditch's song, and Raditch throws him into Monday detention, and then the next episode, Bark at the Boot, he's out the door. He does tell the students that he's gone, but he also says a new chapter happens. And I guess Raditch didn't want to give him the details, even though he kind of got a good send-off. So anyway, let's get to the comments before we get to my POVs. So anyway, people are like, yes, he let Rick come back to the school. And, Revolting Phoenix said, no, hating Raditch is BS and moralistic. Raditch wasn't great at handling Rick's situation, but a lot of teachers didn't handle it either. And Simpson comes to mind. Since Terry's family did not press charges, it's impossible for him to keep Rick out of Degrassi because of a rumor. Some principals are so caught up in the logistics of running a school that trivial situations like students getting invited on a daily basis mean nothing to them. Raditch did the best he could with his resources. So, how I take this comment is that, the simple fact is that, that's the whole thing with Terry's family not pressing charges. Charges weren't pressed. In a normal, realistic world, Raditch could not do a damn thing about it. Even if he wanted to do something about it, he probably felt like if he didn't let Rick back, would he probably have felt something bad about himself? I would say no, But the simple fact is that, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway. Well, anyway, Melo said, I think probably he does. The hatred is justified. Not only did Raditch refuse to take any action regarding Rick's return to school, when Rick tried to reach out for help amidst the hostility that he was on the receiving end of from the schoolmates, Raditch was not willing to listen to him and dismissed him. Probably the worst thing Raditch was guilty of was apathy. He no longer gave a damn about the students. He stopped caring about them. He behaved as though he didn't want to be bothered with them. For him, being principal was only a job. He was sticking around for the money. And then he even said, I know that Dan Woods quit Degrassi because he didn't want to commute to and from Toronto since he moved to another province. However, it wasn't really necessary to create this negative storyline to write out his character. And Miller called it a character assassination. He was a jerk and a blowhard in season 2 with his conflict over Emma over the GM Foods protest. But his behavior in season 4 was an all-time low. That they really need Raditch to go out on a low note. So I think the apathy thing is justified because, like, you know, it just seemed like Raditch was just doing it for the job, and people like Not a Vampire said that Raditch was just, you know, a figurehead, if you will. He's just doing paperwork in a sense. Like, he's just at the school to do paperwork and all that. He's not really connecting with the students. And when Hatzalakos came to be principal, then she got to the students' level and she made her mission to make students feel welcome. I guess she kind of figured that her predecessor screwed up, so that's why she did it. A lot of people actually say that, you know, Hatzalakos loves to bring up the Rick Murray situation and all that. I guess because, you know, that got her the principal job. But yeah, that was just plain stupid. Yeah, Dan Woods left Degrassi because of the commute and all that. I thought it was in Los Angeles, but well, that's a mistake. Anyway, you know, like Raditch refused to take any action, and it reminds me of someone who wrote a comment when I watched Unusually Eric's thing about the Rick Murray situation. Someone commented that Raditch did not go over the PA or do a video system or assembly about Rick coming back. And that's a good point. Raditch screwed up on that POV because if he had told them saying, there's not much I can do, there's no criminal charges pressed against Rick, legally I have to take him back. Although he could have just said, well, maybe I shouldn't take him back because of maybe the students are upset by this. He probably thought that, you know, it's like water under the bridge. Huh, yeah, right. But then again, I think Raditch may have had one key moment why he didn't do it. Because he knew that if he did that, then the students would have ran to the police station and gone after Rick. Although they probably would have been shooed away. The police might not have done anything. That's the problem. That's the thing, though. Raditch probably would have. They probably would have. Yeah, Raditch would probably not have done anything. But anyway, yeah. And I talked to the mayor saying that Emma had some fault in season 2 pushing that thing. Someone says, I think he gets the hate he does because of his rigid personality and how he looks. I did a couple of things. Okay, well, Steven says, good riddance for him getting transferred to another school. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Murray family went after him in court for damages and pain and suffering. But then I said, I doubt the Murrays would have gotten anything because of Rick being school scorer. Plus, the dad would be investigated for how a 17-year-old could easily access a handgun from his desk. So basically, I'm saying that the Murrays would have their own problems to deal with, much less a civil suit. Yeah, they would do a civil suit, but then they would have been in trouble for everything. And a lot of people said he failed to read the room on Rick. He should not have allowed Rick back, and he should have listened to Rick when Rick came to him. In a deleted scene, he sent Rick home and told Simpson it's just to make students get along. He lost touch. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of people said he should never let Rick back in the first place. And all that. So, yeah. So, when I posted in that thing, I said, I did a video, Why He Hates Me Lord. It was one of the Degrassi unpopular opinions. So, I'll quickly click on the link and quickly, 52. So, yeah, so it's 52 and 138 for CDUOs to do with Raditchs hate needing to be lowered. So it's almost like almost every 80, but now this is faster. It's like 184, but as is. So I did 52 and 138. But simply put, my feelings are that not everything was Raditchs' fault. He didn't take part in the bullying or had anything to do with painted feathers. He did drop the ball with letting Rick back, but explained to Marco and Alex in a deleted scene that with a lack of criminal charge, his hands were tied. As much as he gets blamed for letting Rick down and not taking him seriously in time stands still, Rick dropped the ball too because he didn't get to the point, and Raditch's concrete thinking was such that it was bad. That was bad, but Rick wasn't straightforward. Yes, he deserved to get the boot, but maybe the school board may have told Raditch that he could have prevented Rick from coming back. It's plausible. My feelings on this subject are huge. Yes, I really had a gripe against Raditch. Yes, I wanted Raditch to be beaten up. But remember, this was like 5 years ago. Now my tone has changed. My biggest thing is this. Does Raditch deserve the hate? For delivering the Rick Murray situation? Yes, he does. Does he deserve to be a villain? No. He's not a villain. He's a villain in a different sense. But the sense of being a villain for the point of Rick Murray was a villain. He shot Jimmy. He nearly shot Emma before Sean saved the day. Spinner and Jay were villains because they bullied Rick to the end. Like they didn't take their foot off the pedal. And Spinner and Jay blamed Jimmy for everything. I guess to take the heat off themselves. And maybe as a sense to get mad at Jimmy for switching sides and protecting Rick instead of being on their sides. Alex is a villain for how she did it with the paint and feathers. She just got lucky that Spinner and Jay kept quiet about things. Things would have been disastrous for her. Paige, I don't think it's a villain. Paige, to me, she was bullying Rick and all that, but she wanted Rick out because of what he did to Terry. Paige had the sensibility and all that. Emma the villain? Yeah. Inadvertent villain, yeah, but Emma tried to make things right. She got chastised by the school. And it got to the point that the only people she got to hang out with was the Quiz Bowl team. So it's kind of weird how Emma got on that team. I thought Liberty would have been on that team and all that. But maybe for pop culture, Emma knew? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that, people think Raditch is a villain and all that. No, Raditch isn't a villain. He deserves hate. But the simple fact is that not everything was his fault. The students took matters in their own hands because Raditch screwed up. If it wasn't for Raditch's apathy, as the one guy said, I think things would have been better. And they probably would not have used the Orange Ribbon campaign to probably get back at Raditch. They basically said that, we'll take matters in our own frickin' hands. I don't blame the students for that. I really don't. Because Raditch failed to help him out. And I know Simpson took responsibility for what he did. Maybe Simpson was telling Raditch these things. But then again, it would be like, well, what proof do we have? I feel in a way that Raditch's reassignment was just, not firing him because maybe if they fire him, he probably would snap back saying that the school board should have probably said something. Maybe the school board said something that you can't let Rick out. But I mean, Raditch could have said, hey, Rick, go to another school. It's okay. Maybe he needed a fresh start. Rick needed a fresh start. Raj needed a fresh start. He was starting to get lower and lower love and all that. Does he deserve the hate? Yes. But he's not a villain. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond.